for joining me for this podcast today as we talk about beyond the table, what transpires after we leave certain tables and environments. And so if you're enjoying this podcast, would you do me a favor, like it, subscribe to it, or maybe share it with 2 or 3 people, and maybe it'll encourage them and help them in their journey as well. Today you're looking at these crayons, and I'm basically going to give you a kindergarten lesson that's been extremely valuable to me over the last 30 plus years. And I was having a conversation with a friend one day, and he said, I have determined that I have figured out your leadership style. So I was intrigued, and I leaned in, and I'm like, okay, what makes you think you understand now my leadership style? And he said, well, first of all, you value diversity. You value people. And I said, well, absolutely. And he said, to put it in the most simplistic terms, I think you are a color by number leader. And I actually started laughing at him, and I'm like, well, it can't be that simple. What do you mean a color by number leader? And he said, well, first of all, you don't think that you have all the crayons there are in the box. And I said, okay. And he said, and you invite people to the table or to the vision and to the picture, and you ask them to bring their crayons. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. And so what I have found is that I'm a 4 or 8 color crayon person. In other words, I have 4 to 8 gifts that I really shine in or that I'm really good at, but I have to bring other people around me to fill out the box of 168 crayons, a part of the team. If not, the picture, the color by number picture, will never be filled in, and it'll never be fully colored. There'll be gaps in the vision. There'll be gaps in the picture if I don't bring other people into the vision. Now, I know this sounds so elementary, but let me illustrate it a little bit. First and foremost, there's things I can do. I enjoy strategy. I enjoy talking strategy. And the thing is, I'm pretty good at it, but I'm not incredible at it. If I bring the right people to the table, and I have a couple of people on my team who are really, really good at systematic strategy, I can come and share the vision, but then they can take the vision and put it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I inspired the vision, but they are literally the ones who come and help me put the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the strategy so that the vision can be implemented. In other words, they help me develop the plan. They bring their crayons to the table. Now, one of the things that make me really nervous, is when someone shows up on the team and they think they possess all the crayons. I mean, they think they possess them all. They're the person who are like, man, I'm a 96 crayon guy. Most of the time, they're not. Just to be real honest with you, most of the time they take credit for things that somebody else has done, but they think they have accomplished it and done it. And really what it really shows me is they don't value what other people bring to the table. And I really believe that if you're going to be a leader in today's culture, you've got to value those relationships, those connections, those experiences, the backgrounds of other people that God is going to bring into your life. That no one here that I've ever met is a 168 crayon person. But what I do know is if I bring them to the table and I bring the other people on my team to the table, I can get all the crayons I need to fill in the picture. Now, here's the thing. When you paint the picture for people and you share the vision for people, I'm not wanting to use their crayons. I'm wanting to give them a place so that they can flourish in their gifts, flourish in their talents, flourish in their abilities. I don't want to use people to get something done that I need done. What I want to do is create space, create an environment, and create a vision that they can see themselves in with their talents, their gifts, their background, and it really begins to fill in the overall picture. And so even in hiring, if we're going to hire people for our team, if you're going to hire people for your business, for your team, most of the time what we do is we hire a skill. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's fine. Or what we will do is we will hire for a particular role. And that's great too. You have to do that. But Patrick Lencioni wrote a book. It's one of my top 10 favorite books. It's called The Ideal Team Player. If you've not read it, I would encourage you to read it. It's absolutely phenomenal. But it really hires or brings people to the team based on 3 fundamental principles. That is, are they humble, are they hungry, and are they smart? And when he uses the word humble, what he's talking about there is, do they understand their value? Do they understand their worth? And do they understand what they're truly bringing to the table? Now, here's the truth. I'm in the church world, pastor, lead in that environment. And so what I know is I've led worship over the years. But man, I'm not a good worship leader. I'm not a good singer. I'm a great worship leader. I'm just not a good singer. I have incredible people on the team that can sing. And so when I bring them to the table, what I know is I have to humble myself and say, you know what? I know what I do bring to the table. I know my value to the team. But you know what? Just because I can sing a little bit doesn't mean I'm a great singer. I need to get great singers around me. And then I can lean into the crayons I have that fulfill the picture. But man, I'm bringing those other people around with their crayons to fill in the picture. And so whenever we're hiring or we're inviting people on our team, no matter what it is, I really ask those questions. Are they humble? Are they hungry? Do they want to grow? Do they want to expand? And are they smart? Are they smart with people? How we treat other people is huge, because are we valuing what different people bring to the table? What different people bring to the environment? Years ago, I was asked to go to a conference, and I flew out, and I realized real quick that as I looked in the room, about 30 people, I didn't belong there, or at least that was my perception. And I was a little confused of why I got invited, why they spent the money, the time, the effort, the energy to fly me out there. And I knew all those people, but I didn't feel like I belonged there. And finally, the guy that invited me and really pushed me to be there, I asked him, I said, man, why am I in this room? Why did you guys invite me here? And he said, Donald, we needed someone that would be willing to think outside of the box. And I looked at him and just jokingly, I said, there's a box? He said, that's why you're here. I was in a room of who I would have thought was the best of the best. They were incredible. But their thinking had led them into a place and a methodology and a format where they were stuck. And they needed somebody that could come in and kind of think outside of the paradigm they had built. So I understood real quick, that's one of my crayons, the way I think, the way I view things, the way my perception, my experience, but not just my experience, but my reflected on and analyzed experience. Oftentimes we say experience is the best teacher, but it's experience that we've had some time to reflect on that becomes the best crayon in our box when we're invited into rooms and spaces to share with others. Once we begin to understand what our gifts and talents are, what you bring best to the table, and then you value what other people truly bring to the table, I'm telling you, your team can shine. Your family can shine. Your organization can shine. Your business can begin to grow exponentially because now I'm bringing the right people around me to fill in the gaps where, you know what, I might be okay in, but it's not really my brightest color, and it's not really my greatest strength. And so I'm leery of guys who show up and ladies who show up and they think they possess all the crayons. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I didn't know there was 168 colors out there. I mean, are you kidding me? I don't think I would ever use this many crayons. But if someone walks into your team and they say, I've got it all figured out, I don't know how much I want them on my team because I'm guessing they probably don't. I want people on my team who understand, man, they may be a 4-color person, but I need those 4 crayons. They may be a 16-color person, but I need those 16 crayons. I don't know what you need in your business. I don't know what you need in your organization. But I want to encourage you to start valuing what others bring to the table, but also first value the crayons you bring to the table. And it might just be 4. But if it's just 4, or if it's just 8, show up with them, the brightest and ready to put your mark on the vision of what God has for you to do in your business or in your family. And so hopefully that you can take this elementary lesson, utilize it, implement it into your world, kind of look at it and evaluate your team and wonder, man, what's the gift and the talent? What's the color they bring to our team? And show some appreciation for that. Show some celebration for that. But also, don't forget to celebrate what you bring to each team that you lead in or that you serve on. Because I promise you, your job, your life, your family is better because you showed up with your crayons. I promise you that. So thank you for joining me today. We're going to drop one of these every Friday. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of them. And if this little elementary lesson helped you today, and share it with somebody else. And I know it'll be an encouragement to them if it encouraged you. Talk to you soon.